The following program contains names, places, and events that have been anonymized or fictionalized for the purposes of protection and safety. The following program is provided for entertainment purposes only, and any commentary from the hosts are strictly conjecture and should not be held as making any definitive statements about the truth or identity of any particular individuals or circumstances. If you or a loved one are involved in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1 800 799 7233 for support.
Yay, happy Dating Detectives Monday.
I'm so excited for this episode.
I am too, because I was actually in LA recording this in person, and it's really amazing to be with Hannah and Molly and have the guests in person. That's the best for me.
We get to also tell you who this person is because she has a book out. Her name is Meredith Beardmore. She's a therapist. I'm jumping right in. I didn't even do like our niceties. I was like, guys, we have to talk about her. She's so cool. Literally, we walked in, we were like, she's iconic. And she wrote a book called The Plan B Chronicles about the story she's about to tell us. Obviously,
and it's not exactly what you think. Like, it's way more than, like, the title does not give any indication. And it's going to be on our book club on our Patreon.
Right. Not this month, but soon. Like after this, we'll do it. And that way you guys have time to order it. And we really hope that you do. I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
After you hear her.
Especially after hearing this story, you're going to want to read her book.
And I think this is just going to be a great episode. I want to tell everybody a little bit about what to expect and more about her. We'll tell you more about where you can find her later. She also has a YouTube channel called Mend with Mare, where she takes a therapist point of view and analyzes lyrics of songs, and it's really fun. She just did some of Lily Allen's new album, which I think is Dating Detectives coded to a T.
100%. I've always liked Lily Allen.
I am thrilled about this.
Yeah.
We can do maybe we do a full Patreon episode about Lily Allen's new album.
But you have to go listen to it because it's really cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. She was dogfished hard. And okay, so sorry, we'll stay on task. Meredith is a therapist. And I think that's awesome because not only does she get to talk about her story through that lens, but it's also just such a good reminder that this can happen to everybody.
Even a therapist. It's so interesting because you think, like, even my experience as a PI, people say, oh, you're a PI? Oh, can you tell me this? And I'm like, can I have some more information, please? It's the same thing with a therapist. You would think a therapist knows exactly what to look for and they know if they're being dogfished. And nope, it can happen to anyone. And that's a good example of why people say, oh, I felt so stupid. Y'all, it's not about you being stupid. You are never stupid. It can happen to anyone.
Because our feelings and our personality is stronger than most feelings. I think she's a caretaker at heart. And you could see that as she, especially being a professional in mental health, you want to be able to be there for your partner and maybe even have more shame if it doesn't work out. So we'll get into that. This is, you said, a different kind of dogfish as well, because her husband definitely falls into addiction. And I think we tried to do a good job of holding space, as the Cynthia Erivo says, for the fact that it's devastating and we can have a lot of compassion for that experience. And also she has a right to be angry about the behaviors that came from it. And both things can be true.
Yeah. And so a little bit of trigger warning for addiction, talks of suicide, domestic violence, all kinds of abuse. So definitely some sensitive topics, but it's just really great to hear her story in full, exactly the way that she experienced it. And I think that between her listening to her and reading her book, I think you guys will really just be blown away.
Yeah. If you have any words of support for her or questions, you can always write on our social media, Dating Detectives Podcast, or Spotify has a place where you can leave comments on individual episodes. So comment away.
It also, by the way, wherever you listen to your podcast, there's also a place where you can do Dating Detectives 5 stars and give a nice comment.
Oh, what an idea you have there, Mackenzie.
So we would we'd really appreciate your support in that way. So thank you so much. But without further ado, should we meet Meredith?
Let's meet Meredith.
Let's bring her on. Meredith. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I am very honored to be here. I do want to give a shout out to Hayden, who persistently told me to get on Dating Detectives.
Shout out to Hayden.
one of my amazing subscribers of my YouTube channel. So yes,
thank you so much,
wonderful.
Hayden.
Yes.
That's one thing that we always say is the more people come on and share their stories, the more you're creating a sense of community.
Yes.
And you never know how something that you're sharing could impact someone else or help someone else. So thank you for being here. And
I'm excited also because you have the YouTube platform. We'll talk about everything towards the end. The book.
Okay.
So we get to have, more connection to you.
Yeah.
Our audience
I'm
will
excited.
be obsessed.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah. They will flock. Yes. They will love it.
Yeah. We say we're excited, but
yeah.
Are we?
I know, right? I always say I'm excited.
Right?
And I'm like, wait, I don't mean like really excited.
I'm excited, but I'm sweating and I feel a little nervous, but it's just because it's an emotional, deeply emotional story because it's my life. And I wish it's so interesting that it does feel like a movie. So I do feel disconnected now a little bit just because it's in the past, which I think is so important to let some women know. Like you do get on the other side.
I need to know that because I have a hard time leaving things in the past sometimes. But thank you again for being here. Will you share your story?
Sure, I will. I want to make sure that I give backstory, context, just because it's just tragic. Like it's a really tragic story because I loved this man very much. And we were together for 8.5 years, really, really happily, and had a little boy. And it all was the pandemic. Like I wouldn't be sitting here, I think, if the pandemic wouldn't have happened.
Really?
Really.
Oh,
okay. Because so when can I take a drink really quick?
Yeah, you can.
My literally just got like so.
No,
cottony.
I get it, and it's a lot. Like honestly, even if you want to start by telling people about what you do for a living, like if you want to go back to that, just kind of set the scene of like who you are, how you got even into the marriage.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, I am a therapist. I have my own private practice. And when I say we had a very great life together for 8.5 years, but that was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so when the pandemic hit, my work skyrocketed. Like I had to work all the time because they lifted bans on insurance so I could go across states to work with other people too, just because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And then he was out of work and he worked in the entertainment business. He's a sound guy on a TV show. Okay. And
well, do you want to take us, like, I want to hear how you
met.
I'm
almost, you want to know that?
Yeah.
You want to go all the way back?
I want all of it.
Girl, take us back to the beginning.
Okay. So what happened was I had moved from LA to New York in 2010. And I was working as an admin assistant on the 53rd floor of the Apex building in like New York City. Like it was a private equity firm and very cool. I was front desk. And this was before I went back to grad school. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I was like, this seems good. So my parents were coming to visit me in New York City for the first time. And it was kind of like today, a very rainy day. Like it just came out of nowhere, hardcore rain, and it was messing up somehow the subway system. So it was just delayed. And my parents were coming from Ohio. They're very, they like their small town.
Yeah.
But it's a little too big. They're like, so I was like, I got to get home before they get there to be able to greet them. And the time was just, we got to go. And then next thing, I saw this woman next to me who kind of looked like me, which is weird. And I looked at her and she looked at me. She's like, do you want to get a cab? And I was like, sure, let's get a cab. Like split a cab. She goes, I'm going to see my friend. And this is my ex-husband. She's like, I'm going to go see my friend. And she said the street. It was 43rd Street and I lived on 48th. And I was like, perfect. How weird. How serendipitous is this? So we're in the car and she's like, so are you single? And I was like, kind of, I think. So I just, dating around.
I'm young in New York.
And she said, yeah. And she's like, well, my friend that I'm going to see, he's single. Maybe I think you two would like really hit it off. So can I give him your number? And I was like, absolutely. So he wrote me, asked to take me out to dinner. And I lived on 48th and he was on 43rd. And he said, why don't we just meet on 45th? I'll be the tall guy. You'll see. We'll meet in the middle. And I saw him and I was just like, oh, wow. And he impressed me he was an amazing chess player. Very funny.
Okay.
I am very ironic. He's very good at chess. And he won, like beat this guy and did like a really quick round. And so just like things that were just very charming and very much like very impressive.
Yeah.
So we hit it off from there. I mean, it was really great. And I thought things were going well. And this was the first red flag, was that he had told me, I have an ex-girlfriend who lives in Sweden, and we have decided to meet up in Costa Rica to see if, one last time, to see if we can make it work. And I remember just being like, very appreciative that he was being honest with me, but I also was like,
I'm not playing second fiddle.
Yeah, that's messy.
Yes. So, and I was hurt, and I was like, whatever, do your thing. And then I'd stayed in touch, really, because I wanted to know all the dirt with the woman who had introduced us. And she had told me, like, oh, it didn't work out. It wasn't good with his ex. And then so months went by, and he would write me, and I just kind of ignore him, though. And then finally, he was like, I understand you have every reason to be standoffish. I wasn't forthright in the very beginning, but there's nothing, like, we weren't actually. So I was like, I'll give you a chance. And so we were together. We even did long distance for 2 years when I was in grad school. And then as soon as I graduated from grad school, we got a U-Haul and we moved in together. And it was really great.
Amazing.
It was really great. Like, really good. And then I got a job at Iona College, being in their college counseling program. I was also the alcohol and other drugs coordinator there. So if a student would get in trouble with alcohol or drugs, they'd have to come to me. So this will give you an idea of why I was so embarrassed. Like, I'm a therapist and I work in this area. Like, this is more of my specialty.
Right.
Because my sister had struggled with drug use in her early 20s when I was in high school. And so I was really affected by it and saw her go through withdrawal, but also saw the beauty of therapy because it really helped her. And she's been clean and sober for like 20 some years.
Is that what kind of made you want to do that? That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So we didn't get married until the pandemic because I was working in a college setting and he wasn't yet in the motion picture union. He was getting into it right then. So I had my son in 2018. So I was carrying the health insurance. So when I hit 2020, we were like, well, I had been engaged. We got engaged in 2016.
So what's the timeline? You've been together how long when you got engaged?
When we got engaged, we had been together for 3 years.
Okay.
Right?
And then
pretty decent.
We were engaged 3 more years, then had our son.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year and a half, 2 years is when we got married. So I decided I wanted to go into private practice. So I was going to lose my insurance. And so he was getting into the union. So I was like, as soon as he got in, like, we got to go get married. So during COVID and everything, we went to the courthouse and we did it there. And just,
wow.
How old was your son at that point? You said
he was
2
about
years?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in the pictures and everything. It was adorable. It was really, really
That's
sweet,
cute
really
that
lovely.
he was there.
Oh,
that's kind of
yeah.
cool.
It is cool. It is really
cool
cool.
that he was there when his parents got
really,
married. It was
really
kinda
sweet. Yeah. And so that was why for the main reason why I got married. But he was incredibly loving to me and just so funny, like could make me laugh harder than anyone else. And he would cook, clean after, do our laundry. I mean, I'm talking years. He would do, I thought that I had won the jackpot because I was like, yes, I never have to do these things. But we were a good partnership because he worked more so like a blue collar job, which I'm very attracted to. I loved it. Like calluses on his hands.
Yes.
He's just like
That
a
is
working
sexy.
man.
Was he
had
like
beautiful
with the boom
hands?
mic?
Yes.
I don't know how
Yes.
sound mixers hold up that mic so long, and
I know
his arms
his
must have
muscles
been-
were
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
incredible.
They just stand here for like an hour.
Oh, hours. It's
Incredible.
crazy. It's crazy. It's very physical. So it was like very, very hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But was a very, very good person, very kind and gentle. And I had found out, he had told me, and he'd only told like one other person in his life, he had some pretty serious trauma in his past. And it just made me got a very big like soft spot for him. So sometimes whenever, I don't know, he wouldn't want to go out, whenever people would come to visit, he would say like, I have anxiety and like, it makes me stressed. And he would relate it back to those things. And I think I was really understanding it, but that was they were like just like little hints of things but that's not that bad, right? Like,
right.
It's like,
I'm also curious as a therapist, like that's obviously a valid thing to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we have seen so many people who either lie or really empathy.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
It's hard
And
to
I don't,
know.
it's hard to know, but I honestly think he wasn't trying to get sympathy. I think he was genuinely a really, really great person, like very dependable. And I mean, I knew he would be a great father, or so I thought, that because he was just so ready to, I mean, he was the type of guy that water would be by my bedside before I'd even get in bed, and he would have whatever else I'd needed. Like, he was always thinking about me. And I was too for him, though. It was a very healthy relationship. And we would have lots of conversations together about, you know, we all have trauma to varying degrees. And for myself, obviously, I didn't have the severity that he had, but we were very intentional when we tried to get pregnant that we wouldn't pass along any trauma onto our child, that we wanted to show him stability and to give him a life that was different than what we had had. So we were very intentional. Like, I feel like I was very intentional about who I chose. You know, someone I was madly in love with him, but also knew, or thought I knew, that he would be there. Like, he was a very rock solid type of guy.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't, very dependable.
And consistent.
Very, very consistent. Very good person.
I wish you weren't here.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Guys, finding a doctor with ZocDoc is kind of like going on a great first date. It's one where they plan around your schedule and make it convenient. It's one where they listen really closely to what you have to say. It's one where you feel like you're in good hands. And it's one where they take your insurance. Wait, are we still talking about dates? It's fine. All I can tell you is that I can't always promise a great first date, but I can promise a good doctor visit with ZocDoc. They make it so easy to find a doctor that's right for you and instantly book an appointment. I have been using ZocDoc for years, honestly, and I'm not going to lie. I get compliments. I've recommended doctors, and my dentist I referred people to, my gynecologist I found on ZocDoc, my dermatologist, and my primary care doctor, I think. Yeah, because she only takes appointments through ZocDoc at this point. Anyway, everybody I've referred them to are like, wow, you have, like, that's a great doctor. How'd you find such a great doctor? ZocDoc. It's a free app and a website. You can search and compare high quality in-network doctors and then instantly book an appointment. And sometimes you can even get same day appointments, 24 to 72 hours, which is so hard. Like, nowadays, I feel like I'll spend so much time trying to find an appointment close to me or nearby. You can search within a distance. They have like 100,000 doctors across every specialty: mental health, dental health, primary care to urgent care. And like I said, you can put in your insurance information and make sure they are in network. You can filter based on any other requirements you have. Maybe you only want to see a specific gender, or you want to search through the ratings. Oh yeah, there's tons of ratings from real patients, which is fantastic. And once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings. So you know if they're a good fit for you and your schedule. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/TDD to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/TDD. ZocDoc.com/TDD.
Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. I'm a private investigator for the last 20 years, and I'm telling you, it has gotten easier and easier to find your information online. That's why I recommend getting Delete Me. Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. So when you go to the www machine and try to find information on someone, you're likely getting it from a data broker. So Delete Me knows that your privacy is worth protecting, and you tell them exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts will take it from there. They will send you regular personalized privacy reports. They'll show you what they found, where they found it, and what they removed. And the New York Times Wirecutter has named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. And I use it myself because, well, number one, I'm a PI. Number two, I exist on the social media machine. So Privacy is really important to me. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/datingdetectives and use promo code TDD at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is go to joindeleteme.com/datingdetectives and enter code TDD at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/datingdetectives code TDD.
The change was slow at first. So when COVID had hit and he was out of work for, it was like almost 7 months. What had happened was he never drank ever. And then it was one night we went over, because in COVID you had to have your pods of people that that you can be around. And so we had our certain friends. So we were over at our friend's house and our guy friend can make excellent mojitos. And I was like, yes, I want one. I need it. And I was just like loose and silly and lighter than he had seen me in a long time. I mean, I also had a child and, there was, it was
you're not drinking and
busy.
Right.
So I was having fun, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a drink too," and that was it. I have never seen someone go down, because he was the type of person who would have weird, like he would smoke weed, or he would have where he would drink a lot of 5-hour energies, and then he would just be like, "I don't want to do that anymore," and he would just quit it. So I think he thought that was gonna happen with alcohol too.
Yeah.
So what had happened was, right in March was when everything shut down. Our son was diagnosed with autism in February, right before that.
Oh.
Yes.
So then you had to deal with all, oh, wow.
Yes.
That must have been so much.
So much. And
So he's like, your son was 2 at that time? Okay.
2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen the signs, but he was very resistant. And then with the drinking it was like it twisted his brain and the way that he would think about things. So I couldn't say autism. You'd have to say the letter A. He was saying that, well, if you have a hammer, or if you see a nail and you've got a hammer, then you're going to hammer the nail. Like he thought,
when you're a hammer, everything's a nail.
Like
yes,
a nail.
Yeah.
yes. And so because I was a therapist, he thought, and I was like, but that's not my specialty.
Right.
So that had happened, and then I'm working a lot. This was the first year of my private practice, which they say is the hardest year, because you're building a caseload and during COVID. So I was working a lot, and then the drinking it just started getting worse. But remember, this man had been a perfect partner for like 8 years before this. So at first I was really in denial, and he would binge drink, and then there'd go like 6 months without anything major happening. So I was like, oh, so he is able to kick it. But when he would binge, it was the scariest thing, because he would hide it too, that he was drinking.
So you didn't
down
know.
in the basement. So sometimes I didn't know. But then, I mean, you know, because of the smell of it would start to come through his pores. But one night he was really bad, and I didn't know. Like, it's like I didn't recognize, but we were going to watch a movie together. Our son went down in his crib, and then we were going to watch Uncut Gems. So Julia Fox, that point where Adam Sandler's hiding in the closet watching her, and she doesn't know why she's undressing his mistress.
Mm-hmm.
And he started getting turned on by seeing her body on the screen. And he started taking my hand and was like trying to get me to do things, but I could smell him, and I was like, no. And usually he was very understanding and reasonable about consent. But it was going to a point where I didn't know what was going to happen. I got so scared that I got up and I climbed in the crib with my son and laid there. Because when I would look at his eyes, when somebody's wasted.
Yes.
And you see like the dead behind. And he's such a big person too.
And that's like blackout
and
status.
He was blacked out. I laid there and I prayed, and I was like, dear God, please make him walk away, make him walk away. He did walk away. But the next morning, I wake up and he's not next to me. I looked out back and I saw clothes on our back steps. And then I went into the living room and there he was passed out naked in the living room.
What?
So weird. So it was just very
what goes
alarming.
Through your head when you see that?
Yeah.
I don't even know. When I was in it, I was so disturbed, but also wanted to believe that this was just a glitch. This was just something that just a one-off that happened, because he was very remorseful. And when he was sober, he was much like his old self. Like it would come back. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's back again. And he had made a pact that he was going to stop drinking. He's like, I can kick anything. And I was like, I know you can. And then.
Can I ask, what was that conversation? Or bringing that up even? Like, obviously you said he's remorseful, but I still can't imagine.
Well, I said, if this happens again, like I was very afraid of you. Like I think you were going to sexually assault me. That's how scared I was.
That must have been so hard.
No, it was awful. It was so scary. And then also the fact that I had to sleep in my son's bed to
You had to crawl into your son's crib. Like I'm envisioning that, and I can't even imagine what state of mind that you felt safer with your baby in a crib than next to your husband.
Or that you needed to protect your baby, potentially.
Protect him.
Or protect him. Yeah.
Or I felt at the time it was that I thought that if I was curled up with my son, he would leave me alone then. Like that would be maybe get that. And so I would ask him, how much alcohol are you actually having? And then I started becoming a sleuth, and I would sneak down into the basement. I would find the vodka bottles, like all the different bottles, and I would measure them in the night. Like I would pour out a certain amount and then fill it back up with water, like the exact measurement of it, like with a ruler
so that he could
and
not tell that it was okay.
That it was watered down.
Wow.
One time I watered it down too much, and he noticed, and he's like, I've noticed that you've been doing that. And there was this shift happening that he has to do this because I'm not fun anymore as a mom, and and that I wasn't.
How crappy must that have? How crappy that must have
felt? It was awful because
It's your fault.
Yeah,
because it was my fault, and I felt so much guilt about it though too. And so I would try to do certain things to try to make it better, but then it started getting stranger. Like one time I was giving our son a bath, and he just came in, stumbling in, and I could smell him. And I was like, oh my God. And then he took the shower curtain, just pushed it aside, and he was like, give me a blowjob.
No.
And I was like, our son's right there. What are you doing? And he was just like, you're no fun anymore. Like you're just, ugh. Like he was disgusted by me.
That must make you feel like crap.
No, awful. And also just
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And I'm like, our son is right there. I know he wouldn't see, and I knew he was little, but it was still just this demanding. He was never that kind of lover, like he was.
Yeah, that wasn't something you talked about.
No.
Yeah.
You're not.
No, it was never in this demanding way.
Well, that sounds also, it's like an ownership type control thing, obviously. Even like down to doing that in such an inappropriate time and
it's
place.
almost like, give me attention now. Get back here and love me.
Well, he would often, I feel like, test me to see how much I would prove that I loved him and cared about him. So I was working a lot, and the drinking it just started getting worse, but the weird behaviors. So then we would go like a week, things would be back to normal. We'd have a very serious conversation, and it seemed like it registered in him, like he understood. But then I also think that I don't think he ever thought I would leave. And the threats were weird. It's almost like when I would lay the law down, it would get worse for me. So then I would try all these different tactics. So then I would go to like, I wouldn't even acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And then that didn't work for me though either.
So
it was
you're
just
testing
like I tried
different,
so many.
You're trying different paths.
Watering down stuff. I got so worn. And another weird behavior was he was changing our son's diaper, and our son had gone number 2, and it wasn't wrapped up. Like, how like you'll fold the diaper and like put and he just was like, here, catch. And it hit me right in the face.
Oh, are you serious?
And he laughed so hard. He was like,
he wanted to humiliate you.
He was like, I never thought it actually hit you. I'm like, you play Frisbee golf. Like, he is a very athletic, like.
And he obviously enjoyed the humiliation.
Yes.
Yeah, but then denying
that's very sadistic.
And making it like, oh, I didn't mean to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
he's like, I didn't mean to, but just dying laughing.
And then
if
you have an issue with it,
but obviously, but also the fact that he laughed about it, that in itself is sadistic.
He didn't feel bad.
And he enjoyed the humiliation, and that's a problem.
That was so bad.
I was going to ask, especially, I mean, you brought up before we even started recording, like being a therapist, the shame of feeling like you should have known, which is not, we know, real, but it is real for you.
Yeah.
Did you label it as abuse?
No.
Yet? No.
Not yet. When you're in it, you don't realize coercive control.
Yes.
You can't see
big
the
part.
through the trees.
You can't.
When all the trees are falling down around
you can't. And so then I did not think it was abuse. Because I was still going for the mentality that, well, he hasn't hit me or anything. And I didn't want to be labeled. I didn't want the label of like that I'm being abused in my marriage. I'm a therapist. Like I was like, what?
And that makes you feel shameful.
Yes. So then let me go into where he gets this major job on this major TV show where a lot of people who work in the entertainment business and sound or any parts of these TV shows that film for super long hours, they all abuse Adderall.
Oh, yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
So he was one person that wasn't so great with alcohol. So then we added Adderall addiction into it. That's all that I thought it ever was. And then I learned differently. But
so this is
how did
after the COVID, just timeline. So that he gets a job eventually.
During COVID, I think it was in 2021.
Okay.
Is when they started
still
back up
early
again.
into COVID.
Yeah. It was still early into COVID. He was taking it, they were buying it, and he was taking a lot.
Like
so
the
then
crew's just buying it together. Yeah. It's not prescribed.
One guy in particular who would buy it in bulk.
So was he getting mad on top of the drinking?
Yeah.
So the anger was getting worse?
It was horrible. Oh. But it was about weird things. So health things. My son started having chronic ear infections and he was on antibiotics and they were ripping his stomach up. You know, they aren't good for them.
Bad for your tummy.
So they were like, we got to do the ears. It was literally the biggest fight because he was like, he shouldn't be put under at a young age. And I was like, but we're killing off any good things in his belly.
Yeah. Right. And he's probably in so much pain.
And then when they did it, they were like, he had a speech delay already. And then they didn't even know how long, they don't think his hearing in his right ear had been there. And this was because he kept delaying it. And then finally, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm scheduling it. We're doing it.
I'm his mom.
He refused to come to the surgery. My sister had to drive all the way from Ohio to go with me to do this. And what's interesting is my tire kept going flat and we would do that like tire stuff. You know what I mean?
The fix-a-flat.
Of course, that morning, my tire was flat. And so we were almost late getting all the way into the city. And so it was things like that I was like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That I think he was trying to sabotage.
Yeah. So you do. I was thinking it, but I was like, are we saying that? Okay. So you really think he was doing that?
Mm-hmm. He was trying to sabotage it.
I know so many of our listeners are working parents or just busy people. I don't have kids and I'm still busy. I can't imagine how you parents do it. All of us could benefit from sous vide. I love the kitchen robot. Sous vide is a smart countertop oven and flexible meal delivery service. And I've been using it and it's made eating healthy and eating good food and cooking, really cooking, so much easier. So it's got built-in refrigeration, which is my favorite part about it. You can set up the ingredients for dinner in the morning and then sous vide will keep it cold until it's time to cook. So you don't even have to be home to start it. They have tap to cook technology. So if you use their meal delivery service, which is so good, it sends you the ingredients you need and it tells you exactly what to do. All you have to do is tap the card that comes with the meal and sous vide's like, I know what you're making. I know how to do it. Don't worry, sweetie. I'll take it from here. which is really nice. I've just been using it for even vegetables. Like I'll throw in vegetables that are about to go bad with some seasoning. And then I have roasted vegetables ready for me that I almost forgot that I was making. And then I'm like, wow, look at this healthy snack that's really actually yummy that I never would have taken the time to make if I didn't have sous vide because I'm lazy. You can choose from over 50 meals with new options added each week from their delivery service. I've tried like a paella. I've tried some of their desserts. They're just really delicious and they could feed your whole family. It's got 15 cook modes, air fryer, slow cook, use it to cook anything. And it also has a 100-day risk-free trial. So you really have nothing to lose. You won't spend hours in the kitchen. And if you shop their Black Friday sale right now, you'll get extra savings, but only while they last. So go to sousvide.com/datingdetectives to get $150 off plus 16 free meals when you order during their sale. That's SUVIE.com/datingdetectives to get $150 off plus 16 free meals. Save time, eat better with sous vide.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Parles-tu français? Hablas español? Parli italiano? If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Wondery. Spelled BABBEL.com/Wondery. Rules and restrictions may apply.
You guys, I'm full of interesting and fun facts, and I have one for you. Here's a gross fact. Traditional bed sheets can hold more bacteria than a toilet seat. Yeah, not exactly what you want to lay your face on. And as someone who exists in the beauty space and talking about makeup, I think that skincare is super, super important. And so I would like to tell you about Miracle Made bedding because it's designed to fight bacteria and stay cleaner longer with silver-infused fabrics that actually prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. So Miracle Made is not only great for temperature regulating if you're a cold sleeper like me and then a hot sleeper like some other people that we know, but it's also great just for that health and hygiene aspect. So you can sleep at the perfect temperature with the NASA-inspired silver-infused fabric that helps regulate your body temperature. But because of the antibacterial silver technology, they just stay cleaner and fresher up to 3 times longer than regular sheets, which means fewer odors, fewer wash cycles, and way less laundry. You're welcome. And they feel really good too. So that's the luxurious comfort without the luxury price. Upgrade your sleep or give the gift of better rest. Go to trymiracle.com/TDD to try Miracle Made sheets today. You'll save over 40%. And when you use promo code TDD, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set. They make an amazing gift. And with a 30-day money back guarantee, there's no risk. That's trymiracle.com/TDD, code TDD at checkout. Thanks to Miracle Made for sponsoring this episode.
Bring us back to the timeline.
Yes.
He's taking Adderall now.
Yes. Now he's taking Adderall. He's drinking on his way home.
Oh. No.
From work. So my aunt was killed by a drunk driver. Oh. And knowing he was driving home drunk and he would brag and boast and be like,
oh my God.
And I'd be like, okay. So I felt complicit in that. Like I was like, what if something happened and I didn't? And then the kicker was I was doing everything for our child and the household. So this person who was diagnosed with OCD and kept his shoes lined up and did all the laundry and did all of that, that then changed. And the house became more disgusting than ever, even though I would try to clean it. So here I am, I've got a child with a disability And then I'm keeping my caseload. And then I have him making my life harder. Like, it was so fucked up. So the one thing I asked of him, we had a serious conversation. I was like, I'm doing everything. I'm starting to resent you. You need to choose at least one thing with our son to
take ownership of. Like,
yes,
just be a partner.
Help me out here, and also
help me out here. So
be there for our kid.
We enrolled him in the swim program. Well, it's called like adaptive swim. Like, he would need extra help and things like that. So this Saturday he takes our son to the swim lessons. He comes back. I go outside and I'm like, oh, hi, you're back. And I give him a kiss. And it was pure out breath. And I was like, the rage that overwhelmed me. And he was like, no, I just stopped at the liquor store right before we turned down the street. He's like, I just took one shot. He's like, there's so many people that go and they drive like after parties or whatever. I'm like, it's literally 12 p.m.
Yeah, even if that's the story.
And you drove drunk with our child.
No, never okay. Never. Nope.
Oh, I'd be so scared.
That's when I put down one of the final-ish ultimatum where I said, you go to detox and rehab, we're done. Like,
because now you've
over my dead body. Will you
with
ever?
My kid?
Because the driving home drunk was making me feel really uncomfortable then. And then whenever that,
you're willing to put my kid at risk. Thank you.
Yes. And I don't want people to think that I was, like, I have guilt over this, that I should have, like, why did I think he wouldn't do that with our child? But I just didn't. I really didn't. I really didn't think he was
because
going
you
to do that.
want to trust in your partner.
I know. And it was the one thing.
And you're like, that's his dad.
But he didn't, people who, when they really hit, like, you have to want to change. So thankfully, I did this for my job. I knew the places to whatever. We had great health insurance. He goes to detox. And he's at first really judgmental.
He doesn't think he's one of them. He thinks he's better than them.
But I was like,
you're like, who?
I just was like, oh, he's not taking this serious. And then we were approaching Memorial Day weekend, and I wanted detox and rehab. This is serious.
And Memorial Day is a big drinking.
You could have, this is like my flesh and blood. Like, if anything happened to him, I wouldn't be able to live with that guilt.
And how could,
he had to, and I could tell by the way he was talking, he was not. And he checked himself out after 5 days. And I was like, you're not coming here. And of course he showed up. And I was like, why did you check yourself out? And he's just like, why would I be away from you guys? Like, we should just go down to the beach and hang out. And like,
I checked myself out of rehab because I wanted to go have fun and party.
Yeah. That is the problem, though, with someone loving somebody with an addiction issue. It's very confusing. But you have two realities, where he has his, and then there's mine, where, he thought we were just going to go. He did not think I was serious.
How long had you been together at this point? This is going on
9 or 10 years.
Yeah. So
he was like, she's not going.
She's not going nowhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
She's been here this long.
Up to this point, did he ever ask for help or said, like, I have a problem, or had any come to Jesus moments with you?
Any kind of vulnerable conversation?
After that first one with Julia Fox, but then it just became, I'm just no fun. I don't get it.
He never had that accountability.
So he gets out of detox. He comes back home, and they had prescribed him some kind of meds, but he's acting worse than ever. He set up in our living room. Like, again, my son has autism and sensory issues. He creates this shop, like a wood shop, in our dining room, and was like, I'm gonna make him a rock climbing wall. Like, just this, like, delusional random
Are they ninjas in your house?
Okay. And he did, and it was very heavy. Yes, He did a rock climbing wall. It wasn't huge. It was like, I mean, it was
big enough for a child.
Big enough for a kid to climb up to the top.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, whatever. So I'm like, okay, we gotta turn off the saw and all these things. I'm like, this is too much. Like, it's upsetting our son. And he got frustrated. So then he left and he went on a hike. Supposedly his phone died for a period of time. And I noticed our son was starting to get sick and he was really, really hungry. We didn't have hardly anything. And I was like, can you get back here? Can you pick up something? And when he wouldn't pick up the food and like didn't, when his phone finally turned on and like wasn't proactive, I just was like but I stayed calm and I said, I need you to get back home. We need to talk. I put our son to bed and I sat down and I'm like, you have to go to rehab or we are separating. Like I've said before, you have to go. You are not right. You are not prioritizing our son. You don't seem okay. You don't seem okay. And he was trying to, like, word salad is very big with the narcissists, where they say a lot of things that are very confusing and talk a lot. And you're
Sounds
just like,
good.
sounds good. And it just throws a lot. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking about this anymore. I'm done. You're going or you need to go. And he kept trying and trying. And we have a steel baby gate that's right there. And I said, I'm not talking about this anymore. I am going to bed. And it's like I flipped some kind of switch and he got so enraged and he kicked that steel gate at me as hard as he could. It hit my wrist and my wrist is just like blowing up. Like it's just so big and fat. And I'm screaming because I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And it's like he came to again and he was like, I'm so sorry. What did I do? What did I do? Then he picks up the phone, calls the police and says, it was domestic violence. I kicked this at my wife. I just need to go to jail, blah, blah, blah. And then he disappears out of the room. And I don't have a bra on. And so I'm sitting there like, oh my God, not sure where he went, but I'm in shock.
Totally.
And then I don't know how much time passed by. And then here comes the fucking cop and is like,
did you know he had called them?
I heard it. And this cop just comes around and I was like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, we need to talk to you. And I was like, yeah, he hit this. And then he stood up and then he goes, you have a kid here? And I said, yes. And he goes, I need to make sure he's safe. And I was like, he was asleep during the whole thing. And he walked around the bed, like seeing my son. And I just was like, is this even real? So then 2 other cops come in. I'm in the living room at this point. My son slept through the whole thing. And my ex is out front of the house. And the cops were like, basically, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I think he's having a psychotic break or there's something going on. Like, I don't know what meds. He just got out of detox. He's not right. I was like, please take him to get evaluated. Because he was saying things in the word salad about not wanting to be alive if he couldn't be with me and like all of that, which I was like, I couldn't fall for it anymore. Like, I just was like, and I'm not meaning fall for it, that it's not serious, but it was very manipulative. And I knew it in that moment. I was like, this is like I'm putting my foot down. You can't talk your way out of this anymore. Like I've literally listened and been understanding. So good at it. And so they decide to take him to the local hospital and they said, you should get evaluated with your wrist. And I was like, no, because who's going to stay with my son? Like, what if he wakes up?
Yeah.
Like my ex, like idiot, didn't even think of like, goes so beyond just us. We have a child here. So I told them that they agreed. They asked, do you want to press charges? I said, no. And then I texted the picture to my sister, and then my parents got in the car and started the like 8.5, 9-hour drive from Ohio to New York. And I was just in total disbelief. And they told me, I said, when will he be back? Because I just need some time. Like, I need time to wrap my head around it. My family's on the way, and they're like, they'll probably hold him for a day or two, maybe. And like, I knew as a therapist, usually that's the case.
This wasn't like it's not like a 72-hour thing, correct?
I thought it was going to be a 72-hour. Usually it's 3 days when you have suicidal ideation or like, or say that you have it. And I told them, he had said these things to me. So then I kind of go to sleep. And then at 3 a.m., I got up to get a glass of water, and he's standing by the bookshelf in our dining room in the dark.
What?
And he's like, I'm so sorry. He went and he was able to talk his way
No.
out of being in a psych hold or anything like that.
How?
Did I not just say they were really good at that? Genius.
That's what I'm talking
in
about.
A twisted way.
Twisted, genius, charismatic, able. She's just, no.
And
he walked back.
How far?
What?
It wasn't far.
Okay,
it was probably like a mile and a half or something.
That's still far.
Still far. Yeah. Released him. He's standing there and he's like, I'm sorry. I scared you. He was like, don't worry. Like, I'm not going to do anything. And I was like, I need you to go. You need to go.
Get the fuck out.
Yes. So he did leave. I don't know where he went. And the next day we wake up. My parents still weren't there at this point in the morning. It was early.
How did you go back to sleep? I don't even
I didn't
know.
really.
Yeah, I would be out of my mind.
But then he came in the morning and we had like a latch on our door. He took a knife and he stuck it between there to like lift the latch and came in and he's like, I need to take him.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he goes, come to daddy. And my son goes like this.
Puts his hand out like
tucked in,
hand.
not speak, nothing. And I knew not to say, no, you can't, because that would set him off more. So I just stayed silent. And it was like a force from my son. Like he literally walked out of the room.
So he basically just like didn't even give him eye contact or didn't look at him, just held
like
his hand out like, nope.
This.
Like, just extends his arm all the way out and just hand up like, nope.
Wow.
Like
not doing it.
You're not coming near me.
And how'd that feel for you sitting there?
Wonderful. Like great. Because I was like, thank God. And he walked away.
Kids
and then I
know more than we think they do.
Yes.
Kids are more intuitive than
I will tell you.
Wait, when he did the thing when your son was like hell to the no and did the thing with the hand, was he like, why doesn't he love me? Or did he just like leave?
He left. He walked out. There was no words exchanged. It was weird. So then he leaves and my parents come trying to process it all. They're like, why do you have a wood shop in your dining room? And there's a week in between that incident, and then it took him a week to finally go into rehab for 30 days. So during that week, I don't know what all he was doing. I couldn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like I just was so
done.
I'd so done, but I was like, you can't come back until you. So we finally went in. And they had therapy sessions where like I would call in and.
But you were like, there was still a part of you that was like, if we can get past this, we're still able to make this work. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I was very hopeful when he finally, like I was like staying firm actually worked. He went into rehab and he did the 30 days. It fell on the 4th of July, around there when he was getting out. And I always go to Ohio because my best friend comes in from Portland every year. And I have arranged where there's a car that's going to pick him up from rehab and take him to a halfway house or like
something similar.
So he'd be doing intensive outpatients. It's the
Still-
next
so-
step down from being
integrating back into real world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he refused and said that I can't believe you weren't here when I got out of rehab to be with me. Like, how could you be in Ohio when your own husband's getting out of rehab? And I was like, I am spent. Like, I'm not going to feel guilty. And I was like, okay, well, I'm coming back. I didn't want him back in the house because you're down in the basement. Well, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And also he had stuff he had told me when he was in rehab where all of the alcohol bottles and things like that were hidden up in the rafters and stuff. He would describe it. My mom is the biggest snoop. We scoured that thing, could not find anywhere. We were like, we couldn't.
In the ceiling? Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's what I think the wood shop thing was. Like, I think that he had built some things. I don't know. It was very bizarre. It gets even more bizarre. So when I came back from Ohio, I was like, you cannot live in this house until I know you are sober. You're going to stay in hotels or whatever I'm not doing it. But I also felt bad for my son and I wanted him to still have him. It was really hard. So he is living, so I think, in the hotel. And he had come over one day. It was agreed upon for dinner at this time with my mom and I and our child. And he smelled.
No, you smelled the alcohol.
I was like, you gotta, no, like, you gotta go. I can't believe you're doing this. Like, you can't even come over and be sober with your child. You're saying that you want to be in his life. You say that you want to make this work and all of these things. Like, your actions are not showing it. You cannot keep just talking this talk and make it out like he would weaponize his own trauma. It's like, he's like, how could you do this? You know everything I've been through. You know that it helps me.
I've been
I was
through
just
so
like,
much. How could you do this to me?
How could you do this to me? I was the villain.
Right.
So
Darville.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, you need to go. So then I was working on a Thursday. I had made an appointment to talk to a lawyer on Friday because all my friends were like, just talk to a lawyer. Because I was a little concerned if he would come back in and stay there. Like, what are my rights?
Figure out what your rights are.
What my rights are.
What you can do.
And
it doesn't mean you have to file for divorce right then.
Exactly.
But you can learn more about what your legal rights are. And
well,
what
my
you can
legal
do.
rights were. So we're on Thursday. I'm working. And my mom at the end comes up and she looks like she's seen a ghost. And she's like, I was down clearing out the recycling and I found these. And I was like, what did you find? And it was all of these in credit cards, but IDs. Like, one guy, there were like 3 of his IDs.
What?
But different expiration dates. And the credit cards, tons. A stack.
What?
All different people.
Well, one guy was like multiple IDs and then one credit card. And
Did it look like him?
different?
Would the pictures look like him or was it just?
No. There were other people. There were other people on their credit card. So I call him and he didn't answer the first time. So I called again. I was like, this is so weird. And he said that he found them in the parks in that week in between that he
found a stack of credit cards and
he found
various IDs.
in the dirt.
Wait, so what did you think this was when you found it? You had no idea.
I immediately thought identity theft.
Yeah, what do you think? Identity
so
theft?
Scared. Like, I did think that. And then the lawyer was the next day. And I was like, my mom found these things. And she's like, you have to file immediately.
Yes.
You don't know what he is doing with those.
Well, as soon as you filed, then you're no longer.
Yes.
Listen, I ain't in part of this.
Like, I'm not part of this,
yeah.
so I won't be legally, financially responsible for anything or connected to it.
Yeah, because it sets that date. It sets that, like, on this date, I decided this, anything else, not my problem.
And she's like, that is not good. That's a bad sign. And so then what happens is she instructed me, send him an email telling him that you're going to file on Monday and send it to him tomorrow morning. She said, are you afraid of him or afraid for your well-being? And I said, yeah, I kind of am. And she's like, okay, well, definitely call the police if you feel like you need to, if he comes over. She also said, do not let him in the house. She goes, if he comes into the house, he can stay there.
Yeah.
And you will make your life a living hell. So I was like, oh my God. So that morning, that Saturday morning, I remember having a complete breakdown, but like praying where I was like, fuck you, universe, God, whatever you are out there. I was just like, fucking like, I just need this to end. I need this to end. Please protect me. I'm so scared. Like, I'm so scared. But I was like, but I just feel like I need the truth. I kept saying, if you need to burn it down to the ground, burn it down to the ground. And I don't know who I was talking to. I was speaking out. I was like, burn it down. I send the email. I get a call. And we are not separating. I do not give consent to separate.
I don't give a shit.
I'm sorry. Beg pardon.
Nobody
asked.
asked.
Beg pardon.
Yeah. And I'm like,
by the way, you don't actually need their consent. You can file a petition to get a divorce.
No, but it was more of this control. Like,
yeah,
he thought
yeah.
you could just say that, and then I'd be like, okay. Like, no.
Oh, you don't. Oh, okay.
No.
We'll stay married.
Okay,
Just
we'll
kidding,
stay
y'all.
married. It's
Just
fine. And I
kidding,
was
you
like,
guys.
no, I don't. And I could tell in his voice he was fucked up. I knew it.
Yeah. 100%.
And he said, well, I'm coming over right now to get our son. I'm going to take him for a bike ride. And I said, no, you're not.
The hell you are.
No, you're not. I said, he is sleeping right now. You are not coming over. You can come over at 2:00 because it was around 11:30 noon. And he said, no, I'm coming over now. You don't get to tell me when I get to see my child. And you don't get to tell me, but like, just live it. I'm on my way. And then I thought, though, I had convinced him enough that he wouldn't come till 2. So I legit am laying down with my son, and my mom comes flying into the room, and she's like, he's here. He's coming up he's here. He's here. And I was like, what? And so my mom and I instinctively take this rock climbing wall, and we both picked it up and we pulled it in front of that door. Now, he did have keys to the door, but we needed time.
Yeah.
I get on the police. And then there's this door that blocked from the front of the house to the back of the house. And it had a latch on the other side, like a little latch, so that when the babysitter would come over and if I was working in the back, my son couldn't just like open the door and walk in on sessions. So we go through that, lock the door. We start going out the front with our son, my mom, my son and I. And we go in the front. And I was like, am I supposed to go? They were like telling me on the phone, they're like, the police, they're on their way, they're on the way. And I could hear banging start. I was like, oh no, I think he's in here. So do I go upstairs? Like, do I hide? What do I hide? What do I do? And they were like, if he's in the back, go run and hide. It was one of the hottest days ever. So my mom and I run across the street and we hide down in these trees and bushes behind these things and wait till we finally hear the sirens. A minute or two later, they go up there, and here he was, that second door. He had picked up the rock climbing wall. It was out of the way, and he started destroying that door. So there was a huge part of the door frame that he then had taken and put in his car.
What?
And what he got arrested for was the destruction of the property, because they were like, you have it in your car. Like, it doesn't matter if your wife and your child and the grandmother on the other side, why would you need to do this?
Right.
And so they ended up arresting him. One cop came over, saw us over there. My son is literally in a diaper. And I look like trash because I'm just like, I've been so stressed. I mean, I'm telling you, I was skin and bone. I was emaciated. I could not eat.
Do you contribute that to stress and
the
fear
stress,
and all of that?
I could not eat. I couldn't eat. It was like
that
painful.
That worry in your gut, like you can't. Yeah,
it was so bad. And then they took him away, and we go inside, and I'm literally like, is this happening right now? The police make me get on the phone with a DV advocate and have to go through the checklist of things. And I was like, is this fucking real life? Like, oh my God. Like, this is, and I was kind
that
of
mandated to talk to the domestic violence?
Yeah. And that then also, because our son was technically in the house, CPS was then involved.
Yeah.
In New York, it doesn't matter. So I didn't know all of this at the time, but
now they have to determine the safety of the child.
Exactly.
And is the child in further danger? And
so he said, I think he's going to stay there for the weekend, but I don't know. My advice is that you leave, like go to Ohio, go back to Ohio. So I was like, okay. The DV person told me, she goes, get all of your things, get your passports, birth certificates,
anything
IDs,
you need to get
anything you
out.
need to get out. And I said, okay, I've got it. And when I went into the filing cabinet, I saw where I knew that he had filed away his rehab stuff. But I was at that point where I was like, I don't want to be his mom anymore. I'm sick of being a snoop. I'm sick. I can't control this. I've tried everything. But at that point, I finally, for some reason, I was getting the IDs and whatever. I took it. And I went through, and it was the labs from when he entered rehab. and here it was MDMA, ecstasy, benzos, a couple different kinds, like Xanax and things like that. There was massive amounts of amphetamines, which were the Adderall, and it had alcohol, it had marijuana, all of the things. And I just was like,
so it was drugs, alcohol, more than you ever anticipated.
Never.
Probably.
And I took a picture of it. My best friend, her brother's a doctor, and so I said, "Can you please send this to Cole?" And he immediately was like, "This is meth." Because it was so much amphetamines. And if you know anything about like people who are on meth, they kick in things, like they kick down doors, they do things like he had been doing.
Yeah.
And he did to me. But I just was like, the wind was knocked out of me with that, just being like, holy shit, this is so much worse than I ever knew.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're packing up, and then, because he got arrested, he had blown up the driveway and blocked my car in. I was right here. So I had to get in his car and park it on the street so that I could get out. So I get in. I have his car, like we have car keys. And I reversed it down. And this is one of those paranormal weird things that happen. I'm getting ready to get out of the car. And I am telling you, I felt as if right on this same wrist, I felt a hand this.
And move your hand to
and
where?
Move my hand on this black bag. There's a black bag in the passenger seat. And I just knew I am going to open it. So I unzipped it. And if you know anything about me, I hate receipts. Like, I don't look at them.
Same. I don't give me no receipt.
Exactly.
I do not email it to me. I do not want it.
But I did.
This time.
So I look at it, and on the console,
you spread it out,
and I thought, I was like, I'm going to see 5-hour energy and whatever. I do. I see a 5-hour energy. And I see for Plan B. Plan B.
The Plan B Chronicles.
Yes, that's why I named it. And I'll tell you more because there's more about it. But I got that, and it's like the world was spinning.
Yeah, this is your first.
And I couldn't even, and by the way, I don't have fallopian tubes. I had a really difficult birth, or I almost died. It was like a whole thing. So they removed my, I don't even have them tied.
Definitely not for me.
So I knew, and I was like, so I prayed that morning, and it's literally like 4 hours later, when I say burn it to the ground, like let the truth stand, because I saw like all those cards and stuff, I literally got how bad it was, the drugs.
Yeah, those
and
reports.
then that he had been cheating on me. He had bought it at 9 a.m. the day before.
The day before. So while all of this is going down and he's trying to burst into the house and earn
the day
trust
before
back.
that. Yes.
Okay. All right.
And so I am in disbelief, but I took it and I shoved it up into where you see like your speeds and whatever.
Yeah,
And I shoved it up in there because I was like, I want him to know that I know when he gets out of jail.
Yeah.
To know I know. So automatically when this kind of stuff happens, in New York, there's a protection order. Thank God for that. That I didn't have to. Like, they make it so that you stay separate because it's like, and with having a child.
Like, we don't trust y'all assholes to get back together. Y'all stay apart.
How long does that last?
It's like 3 to 6 months, and then you have to.
In other states, you have to beg for one.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, one thing that I hope women that might be in this situation that are listening right now, that they do what I did. And I had friends and family members encouraging me, anytime he breaks that protection order, you go to the police.
Every single time.
Write it down.
Make a report. Document.
I've literally
text your mama. Tell your best friend. Call the cops every time.
I have had my friend come over and drive me to the police station and sat in the car full blast, like entertaining my son and our dog and everything in the heat, like just because my friends rallied. Like, when you finally make the choice of being like, my life has gone beyond, I'm not capable of handling any of this, like, I need you all, they fucking stepped up.
Yeah.
Like, they were. And that's why I also love, there's like a review somebody left there, like, this is like how you also build a tribe of women and people who will.
It's the most important thing, I think, in all of these abuse cases.
Yes,
and it's
absolutely.
But it's interesting because you said before, like, I was embarrassed to say anything. Like, you're embarrassed to speak up.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is that you are valuable. You do have worth, and there are people in your life who know that and see it and are willing to go to bat for you. I guarantee. I'm so grateful for them because then you didn't have to worry about what about my son. Like, you just felt safe, and you were like, I trust them. It's fine.
Yes, I went to Ohio. I had to do a Zoom to show my son was safe there with the social worker who I discuss in here because she was a fucking idiot.
Oh.
This is how charismatic he is. So I was in Ohio, but my son was in this amazing summer program that he really needed. And so I didn't want to go back to New York, but I felt like I had to do right by my son. And also kids on the spectrum need stability. They need the routine. He needed his home.
Yeah.
And
which is what you were fighting for, which is why you stayed with his dad. That's what you're advocating for.
Thank you. So I went back and the social worker came over and she asked me, oh, what's your side story? And then I asked her, have you met with him? And she was like, oh yeah. She's like, he loves you. He was crying. He cried.
Was he crying?
Over you. He was crying over you.
He really was sad.
And I was like,
okay. Bless his heart. That bless his heart.
He has literally cried crocodile tears trying to get me back. How many times? I'm just like numb to it.
With his tissue?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm good at it.
Yeah, and I said I'm concerned about, like, I need to go get tested because he had unprotected sex. And she goes, oh, he told me that you two hadn't been intimate in months.
Oh, thank God he said that. I was getting concerned.
How unprofessional is that to even say that? And my mom's there.
My God.
And I was like, well, actually, that's not true. And I was like, I told you I found a Plan B receipt in the car. And she goes, oh, like, no, you would know already. You would already feel it down there if there was something. And I was like,
that's not true.
Like, you have no idea. Like, the word, I couldn't, she was.
Was this a grown up with this job?
Yes.
Like a grown adult.
Also, that's
grown
like not the
woman.
Like,
She shouldn't even been
I'm sorry.
telling, like, she said it. It was weird when she said it that he told me you guys hadn't been intimate. I literally was like, oh, he did the whole.
Right?
Get ready.
Yeah.
No. It's a side thing. So my mom and I remember just looking at each other and we're like, what just happened? It was the weirdest thing. And then I went back to Ohio in my son's program. It was like 2 weeks after that, after I'd had the testing and I was fine. But I also was like talking to his youngest sister because we were close. And she was like trying to find out who this person was. Like, who was he sleeping with? So I am sitting with my sister in Ohio and she's like, we got to find out who this person was. We gotta find it all out. And I was like,
she would like
I
this
can't.
Podcast.
She was like,
that's what we do.
Loves it.
We're like, we gotta find everything.
Give me your login to your phone. And I had not even thought about that. And I did. She printed them out and she color coded all of the numbers because we knew it was 9:01 a.m. the day before. So any numbers that were going on during that night leading up, she was like, we got it narrowed down. I cold called quite a few people that he went to rehab with who he was actually talking to. So then there's a number and we call. And for some reason, at that point, I was like, I don't want to talk. You can use my phone, but like, I don't. Yeah. So she acted as me and she goes, hi, my name is Meredith. And my husband is dealing with some issues. And I just learned that I found a Plan B receipt and I don't have fallopian tubes. I know that he's cheating on me and I just want to know who the person is because it's just been weighing on me. And she goes, oh yeah, I know him. And she's like, I'm just helping him through a hard time. And she
That's
goes,
nice of her.
So you know him? Like, you through what? Work? And she's like, yeah, we work together.
Meant she asked you that. Okay, but
no.
She works with him.
And she goes, I'm sorry, I'm really tired. Can I call you back tomorrow?
No.
And no, what my sister said, she goes, yes, but I want to talk. Can we choose a time right now? And she's like, well, I'll be done with work and I could we do 4 p.m.? And she said, yeah, I'll call you then. And she got off the phone and we're like, that's who it is. That's who it is. So.
And did you get like her name and stuff?
No.
No. Okay.
But I did eventually. So I knew that was the number. And I had seen other numbers, so I was still working through the list because I knew it was her, but I was like, I still have a few more.
Trust but verify, and you still got to eliminate. Process of elimination.
So I came across I think it was like the second AD on the TV show who he had been texting with, and she was like,
what's an AD? Second
assistant director.
Yeah. The second assistant. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
On the set. And I said what I had said to the other woman. She was like, oh my God. She's like, I know it's not me, but I just can't believe he would do that. He always talks about you. He always talks about your son. And she's like, but I did see a big change in him from season 7 to season 8. And she was like, you're going to be just fine. I had a single mom and the similar things. And she was like really, really awesome. I was like, you're amazing. And we hit it off. Like, I don't know how, through the phone. Like, it was bizarre. And she was like, can we keep this conversation offline? And I said, sure. And I go, but I have the number. Is there any way you can check the call sheet and do it against it and tell me? And she goes, okay, give me the number. And I gave her the number. She was like, oh, her name is, we'll say, what do I say in the book? Lizzie.
Okay.
Lizzie something. And I go, what's her job? She goes, oh, no. We hire out for the COVID testing. She's the COVID nose swabber on set. And I go,
we're speechless.
And I go, okay. And what does she look like? I'm sorry, I'm just curious. And she's like, well, I mean, I think she's pretty young. She's like, it's weird. They don't have to wear scrubs for some reason. They wear like normal clothes. And yeah, she's kind of like goth. And I was like, what? Do you think she's young? And she's like, oh yeah. She goes, I'm 25 and I think she's younger than me. So when I Googled her, I found out I was born September 10th, 1984. She was born September 6th, 1994.
Okay.
Oh. She was the same age as his baby sister. I couldn't even believe that this had been going on.
That's so gross.
I find out that while I was paying all the bills for all those months that he was doing that, he wasn't staying in a hotel. He was staying with her. So this 26, 27-year-old had this 44-year-old man living at her place. So at this time, I felt like shit about myself.
Of course.
Like I felt, because I saw I couldn't find a picture of her. Like she really isn't on the internet, and which is weird. She's like of that age, but like has no, you can't find her. But I did find her Venmo, and her picture, her hair is like to here and bangs, and it's like silvery lavenderish color and like young looking. So I'm all fucked up in the head. I was losing it, and the rage was so, I had never experienced where you could feel so angry that your body starts to sway. Like, you know, like animals will do that. And I usually have like lower blood pressure. It was spiking so much that blood vessels were popping in my eyes. Like I was getting like big red dots on the sides of my family had to be like, you got to do something because this is gonna really affect you. Your health is going down. Like you're so thin. This is bad. Yeah. Like it sent me into such a dark place that even at one point, and I'm honest about it, I was like, I have to find out more details. Finally, somehow I tracked down who her mom was. And I started.
You're not crazy. Can I just say that really quickly?
You're not crazy.
I was like, your daughter slept with a married man and I had to get STD testing and blah, 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 blah. And I tell my friends, and thankfully it was when Facebook had approved that unsend 3 days before it saved me. Because like they were like, no. My friend, I have it, and they're like word for word, because she was like texting me. She was like, I think this is misplaced anger. You're going to get yourself in hot water if you continue to do this.
Mm-hmm. This is where you type it up or you write it in your journal, and you write it really hard in that journal.
Well, yeah, and it was this
book.
And so I unsent them all. But there was many times where I could have really messed up because of my rage. I mean, there's one time a neighbor of mine who was teaching me Muay Thai. That's what she does. And I was like, so tonight my son's going to fall asleep at this time. I need your car because I know the address and I'm going to go slit his tires. And she was like,
my car's broken. Sorry. I don't know.
She's like, Meredith, we gotta sit down. And what's so funny is like it just peaks
I
for
think
like
so many people can relate because so many people are like, I want to freaking slash his tires.
And
but
it feels good. It like feels weird to be angry sometimes.
At that point, he was dragging the divorce on and being so problematic and awful that
so annoying.
I was like, following the rules and doing things the right way have gotten me nowhere in life.
Yeah.
Like the savage side of me.
You're like, no one else is doing anything
and I was
for
like,
me. I'm going to do it myself.
No one's doing, that's how I felt. I was like, I've had it. Being good gets you nowhere. And the other thing was, since he was a sound guy, he had mics and packs all the time. And so sometimes when I went to meet a friend when our son was little, I remember coming back and I'm like, why are you in the basement? How do you know that our son is even okay? Here, he would put mics, like hide them. And he's like, oh, I'm listening to him in my ear. And I'd be like, okay. But I was like picking my battles. So then one day, because I was desperate and I have great girlfriends, we went to our really good friend who lives in Grenada, down in the West Indies. And I didn't have the money, but I was like, fucking charging on a credit card. I mean, what's the matter now? And I just needed to go and be around women and like get my energy back and get clear-headed too. But when I came back, he sent me an email. He goes, how was Grenada? And I was freaked out and I was looking all around the apartment. But I did finally, one of my emails, because I have 3, one of them, I didn't 2-step code. And so
he was able to get into it and find out what you were doing.
I knew he was down in North Carolina visiting family, and the login was that, and it had been several times, and I was like, wow. Thank goodness it wasn't my business email where I talked to my lawyer. Like I like lucked out with that.
That's something people, I mean, this is a good mental note for everybody. If you are talking to a lawyer or talking about anything sensitive, 2-factor authentication.
Everything. Protect yourself. But then things got worse where he kept breaking the protection order. So one night, my son, he was really sick and he called me and he kept calling me and calling me and calling me. And then finally, I don't know why, I answered it. And I was like, what? You know you're not supposed to be calling me. What? He was like, it's really, really urgent. I need you to go out to the car. Go out to the car. I need to know about the insurance, whatever. And I just was so exhausted and overwhelmed that I ran outside, got the insurance thing, came back inside. Here he had been like hiding by the back garage.
I don't like it.
He watched me. I don't like it. And then later I went out and I had cake and flowers just left inside of my car.
I do not like it.
And then I checked the Ring camera and it showed where he did it. And then he walked up and then left. But I had that so then I could show. Amazing. Like he did not respect the law. He did not care about that. Any of it. And so this rage inside of me is just like bubbling over. And one of my friends, she's like, come over to my house and we're talking. And she's like, you heard about Emily Ratajkowski, right? And I was like, what? I love Emily Ratajkowski. I don't know if you know her. She's that famous model, but she also wrote this book called My Body, which is spectacular, like incredible.
She's cool.
She's amazing. And she's like, yeah, she got cheated on by her husband. And I was like, what? Like I was like the most beautiful woman. Like,
yeah, if somebody cheats on Emrata, then
so like it did.
And Beyonce,
I needed to hear that, and so I was obsessively looking that up and the tweets that Emily was liking online and stuff. And one of the tweets, I think she might have tweeted herself, like, you never get mad at the younger woman, the power dynamics that are going on. You have no idea. And it really helped because I was so focused on her and what she looked like and why and my wrinkles and just like comparing myself. And you know how your mind just like goes crazy.
Oh yeah. I think everyone in our audience just collectively nodded their heads.
Yeah. And then my friend got me connected to this somatic therapist.
What's a somatic therapist?
It's body. It's like we hear about psychosomatic where like sometimes like earlier today, I was a little nervous about this. So I felt like I had to go to the bathroom. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Psychosomatic.
Okay.
So they're trying to say, get into your body sends you messages.
Yes.
Well, because of trauma, I was disassociating. I was somewhere else. I was not in my body. I was afraid to actually like feel my body.
So they help you come back to your body and listen
to your body and listen to your body. She also, it was
huge and hard.
It was so hard. I hated it at first. I was like, what is this weird shit? I had a lot of like weird things around anger because my mom and as a woman taught me you don't show anger because it means that you can't manage your own emotions. And only people that are out of control get angry and upset. And so my therapist really helped me to like moving that anger and being like, this is valid. Yeah. This anger is telling you it's a guidepost. It's a signal like run or you deserve better or this is wrong that this happened to you. Like it's teaching you something.
It gets worse.
Exactly. So it's connected to your emotions and it's welcoming every single emotion.
So are you divorced? Where are you now?
So he was breaking the protection order and then he would consider ruthless when it came to, I wanted alcohol and drug testing if he was going to take our son.
Good.
And I was willing to spend any money and all money I have or don't have to make sure that was in place. He had supervised visitation quite a few times. He canceled 15 minutes before. And so that kept happening. And I waited and waited and waited for him to get sober, but it wasn't happening. And he was breaking it. He would go through times where he was very remorseful or whatever. He would get to the fourth step, which if you know anything about step program, that's when you, what's the saying? Like when you make your amends.
Yes.
And he couldn't get past that one. So I was just trying to basically survive during that time. And it got so bad financially because he just stopped paying any child support, nothing for any of the bill, nothing. Literally, that was the tactic, financial abuse, wear me down and to get me to stop. Very common. And it got to the point where I couldn't afford to live in New York. It's a very expensive place. And so after so many, he had about 4 times breaking the protection order, the judge granted me to be able to move out of the state, which is actually a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, because they don't want, most judges, and I think in most states, want the child to have access to both parents easily.
And I did too, no matter what anybody says or any of his family members said.
Look how hard you worked
had
to make
to
that
be.
work.
You were willing to stick with this idiot, even though
I did. I know. And my mom would have to be like, "You check it," because I would get lost in the lies again, even because I just wanted my family. I loved our little unit. I loved it so much.
Put your baby back in focus and don't take him away from his dad. And
yes, but they were able to see the lack of payment, and then that I could. It's several things that you have to prove, like family there, you're going to be a better cost of living and all that stuff. So I really couldn't stand, I hated that was the case, but I reframed how I looked at moving back to Ohio. Like I'm just pulling the arrow back to launch forward.
Yeah.
So I'm getting back on my feet finally.
Yes.
Our divorce was finally finalized on Valentine's Day.
No, shut up.
I'm not kidding. You cannot make that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that was
wow.
And so we're about a year now.
Where are things now? Hold on. Hold your pants on.
So divorce happened. I get a call from his friend.
Oh no.
And he's like, I'm really worried about him. I think he's suicidal. You need to and he kept being like, no, I don't think you quite understand. And I was like, I don't think you quite understand. He is no longer my husband, my responsibility. I cannot call him to try. They were wanting me to call him, even though there was still
you're supposed
barriers
to fix it.
That I'm supposed to fix. It literally was like, so am I the villain or am I the good guy? What am I? And I had found out, I go, oh, so this friend is very wealthy. He had been living in his dream place, a 3-bedroom apartment overlooking Central Park. He was giving my ex that place, so he had no incentive to work. And if his income goes down over a period of time, then he's able to pay less for child support. And I told his friend, I said, you don't understand addiction. You are enabling him.
Yes.
He needs to hit rock bottom. You are what is the incentive when he's living in this,
Why not?
I mean, I've been hurt for a long time because I am just like, our son should be enough, like to get it together. So unfortunately, he overdosed and died like this past.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
For your son.
My son. The rage I have though, like I grieve, but when my son cries over him, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It is pure torture. Like it's worse than anything. Now that's not in this book.
Right.
Obviously this was before this was before it even came out.
Yeah.
Well, just right before. There was no way to stop it because I was even gonna stop it because I was like, I don't want this book to come out.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, well, it's my story. But I felt really just like I've wanted to go into a hermit shell and just disappear in a way. Mm-hmm. But I can't. I have to be good for my son.
Do you feel guilty that the book came out knowing that your son's father lost his life? Do you know what I mean? I could imagine how there might be a little bit of that.
No, I did. But then at the same time, I'm like,
it's still
my life has been controlled by him for so many years. So now even in his death, I'm going to be controlled by it.
Yep.
Like, and I also
it doesn't let go of you.
I was going to say also, I feel like that's a statement to many women who it's like, that doesn't invalidate your story just because his ended tragically. It is tragic. And it was still abuse.
I'm so sorry that happened. Like that,
you still
thank you. It's
have the story.
Yes. And my publisher did give me the option. He was like, do you want to put, the first 5, he was like, they're already printed. We can't. But he's like, do you want to put something? And I was like, no, because I don't want a woman to read this. Like, that's worst case scenario. That's what I was so afraid of happening for so many years.
Is it was like someone
used
reads
against
it and
me.
goes, well, I can't do it because I don't want
I can't do it now. I don't want this to like void the message in the book.
Right.
Like to think, because I'm like, you can still, my son's life, I really hoped my ex was going to, like, we were already in Ohio for 1.5 years before this happened. Like, I really hoped he was going to turn it around.
Right.
And unfortunately, he did it. Some people do.
Many people do.
Does it make you feel guilty? Like, oh, if I hadn't left him.
I went through that for like a hot second, but then I was like,
no, I'm not taking it
bad. It's not my, like, I felt bad, but I felt bad and I've mourned it so much before because I was like, that person died. He was like a zombie walking around without like his real, who he was.
When you say he overdosed, do you mean like he overdosed intentionally or he was like,
I don't know,
doing drugs? What did he overdose on
think
ultimately?
Alcohol.
Oh, and we don't know if he did it on accident or if it was intentional. Nobody's ever gonna know.
But so that girl, I actually feel, because I'm like, for that to happen, bad thing. Like, this is like it's seriously, it's like she's gonna be affected forever with that.
That's an interesting take that you feel compassion for her because now she's carrying the burden too. Like now she's carrying this.
She
forever.
is. We did end up speaking briefly, and this will be the next book after, but we spoke and she was like, I just was used to dropping everything and this is the one time that I didn't do it. So she has that guilt.
Yeah, so she feels guilt.
What would you, you're a therapist, what would you tell someone going through something like this? You're like, I wrote a whole book about that. That's a big question.
Big question. But I think I'm wondering which part, if we're talking about and being cheated on, and I do believe what Imrata, I think it's valid to have your feelings, but he was the one that needed to be loyal to me.
Yeah.
And I think she was younger and really duped and used in some ways.
I was thinking that earlier when you said she was younger. I mean, sometimes it seems to me that if someone goes for someone younger, it's because they think if they're younger, they're dumber and they can get away with more stuff.
That's the thing. I was holding his feet to the fire. I was holding him accountable. He didn't want somebody.
They go to the enablers. And I'm not saying she was an intentional enabler, but she didn't know any better.
No, I don't think she. And she also saw him, fell in love with him in his element on set. And I'm sure he was really, all of that. And I saw the other side at home.
And she's younger, so less experience being manipulated. So she might not recognize it as easily or whatever. It's not because she's dumb. It's just because
she doesn't, it's so sad.
And the ultimate victim is your son.
It is.
That's the ultimate victim.
Can we talk about rage has come up throughout this.
Yeah.
And
how'd you overcome that? You said you're still experiencing
Can I tell you,
it.
I just made merch. I started a self-defense workshop and I made merch that says support women's rage.
Oh my God,
so
I
if
love
you'd like
that.
a hat,
Yes!
I just got the samples.
Please, I will wear it. I will promote it. Everything. Yes.
Because I'm like, we all are keeping it down.
We all are.
And have
you got to move it out.
It.
Move it through your body. And also, like, look, like, I feel some kind of way toward her to some degree. Of course. But I also have to stay on what he was doing.
Yeah.
And how abusive it really was. And that rage, I mean, my somatic therapist would make me, she goes, your homework is to write a letter to your anger and we'll read it next time. And I was like, I don't even know. Like, I'm a kind of person that's like, I need more direction than that. Like, that's not.
Write a letter to my anger.
But what
my
was
anger
interesting?
I know. Fuck you! Exclamation point. No. Let's read that next week.
But what came out when I really sat with it during that week in between our sessions, and I was like, thank you. Like, I should have listened to you a long time ago. I'm so sorry I've been neglecting you. My anger, like, I'll never really stuff you down. Though. I will never stuff you down. You were trying to protect me all the times when I would feel rage.
To protect me, and we feel guilty for being angry,
and being empathetic. And it's like when your kindness is seen as a weakness and used against you. And I was like, it's okay to be fucking angry, and it's okay.
Anger
to
is
feel
an emotion.
It's an emotion that's valid, and it shows you where to go and what to do.
Did anybody ever police your anger? Because I've personally experienced where I'm like angry and then maybe it's like, oh, but I snapped. And so now it's almost like it invalidates the emotions because I let it out in a way that probably was mean. And that's fair. I take accountability for if you yell at somebody, you shouldn't yell at whatever. But it's like, it's hard for me sometimes where I'm like, feeling anger leads to behaviors. Like you said, you DM'd the woman that
the mom. I
how do we forgive ourselves for what rage makes us do? I guess.
So your friend is a home-wrecking horror. Like I literally lost my mind.
Okay, so how do you forgive yourself for that? Because I relate. I know I've made mistakes based on rage that I'm allowed to have.
Yes, allowed to have it. Allowing myself that and like giving just all it is permission. Normal. Where it's like. Just permission to be angry and to feel all of those feelings and holding all of those things at once too. Like I can be, because I thought if I'm raging, then I must not be a good therapist, a good mother. Like I had a weird thing going on.
It's still an emotion.
And it's like, no, like I'm allowed to be, I can be a professional person and also be wanting to rage.
Right.
And I mean, I still have it. And so, because
you're human.
Because I'm human and I'm grieving and I'm seeing my son grieve and I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Like I go up and my therapist taught me like if I can, I go into the car and drive and scream at the top of my lungs. But she's like from a guttural place, like from my stomach, I scream. And I do not ignore my anger anymore and it has helped me. It's like that intuition, like the thing where I'm like, it moved my hand.
Yep.
It's the same thing. It's guiding you. And it's like, it benefits other people that aren't so great for us to keep stuffing it down and to be ignoring it.
It's being convenient.
I would love to hear updates.
Don't betray yourself
in the future. Like I would love to hear how you're doing
and how your son is doing,
how your son's doing, how you're healing, how you're grieving. If you don't mind sharing, we'd love to hear more.
Absolutely.
Plug everything. Plug the name of your book, your YouTube, your Instagram, whatever.
Yes, I have this book is the Plan B Chronicles: Divorce, Defiance, Liberation. It's available anywhere worldwide too. I have a YouTube channel called Mend with Mare. And
Mend like
Mend, M-E-N-D.
Oh, Mend. Okay.
Mend with Mare.
Mend with Mare.
That's my nickname, Mare.
I like it.
So Mend with Mare, and you can find me at Mend with Mare on TikTok, Instagram,
all the things.
We'll put it in the show notes,
of course.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing this.
Pick up the book.
Thank you for not being afraid.
Book club.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for not being afraid to talk about the kind of harder parts where it's like, is this something I can talk about? Yes. And I think it should be talked about more. So thank you. I really appreciate
you for giving me a platform.
Holy bananas.
I love her.
I told you guys it was a lot. I really do love her. She was a great guest. And again, speaking to the fact that she's a therapist and still went through all this. And it might be so easy to say, oh, she's a therapist. Why couldn't she see this behavior or recognize it sooner or whatever?
The age-old question. Why couldn't we see this behavior
Why
sooner?
couldn't any of us? Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing with this. Off the bat, I do want to just make sure we say addiction does not equal dogfish, liar, cheater, abuser. Addiction is not the reason that he is who he is. I mean, that is, yeah, it's two
His
separate. I mean, like,
actions still count
right.
toward
The behavior
her.
exists,
Yeah,
no
the
matter
behavior.
why they happen, and there's so many reasons why people are led into those behaviors. And if we just say, well, he was an addict, that excuses it, then that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, it really doesn't. So then because he's an addict, there's an additional thing to address. There's
I know. It
an
was
additional
really
problem to
hard to
address,
hear.
but this was just because you're an addict does not excuse the behavior, period.
I'm sure a lot of people will relate to this, whether they've gone through it themselves or supported somebody or loved somebody going through it.
Well,
Because I know a lot of times the way to support someone is like feels very counterintuitive.
Yeah. And just, yeah, exactly. But a really interesting perspective, especially from a therapist.
I mean, and just the feeling she has to go through now after his death is unfathomable.
That crushed
But
me.
I do think it's a good conversation to talk about when someone dies by suicide, especially, that you had a complicated history with. Like, it's like mourning your abuser, mourning the ex that hurt you. I mean, like, that I am so lucky to not experience that emotions. And I think it's a small club of people that probably really don't want to be in that club. Like, I'm glad that she's being so honest about having anger that's healthy in a situation that I think most of us would be afraid to admit that we're angry still.
But, well, because we are conditioned to, if someone dies, you have to be sensitive and you've got to be really compassionate. And, oh no, that's a loss of life, right? Someone has taken their life and that's a very sad thing. But when it's someone that has hurt you as bad as he did, it's okay to be angry too. Like, that's a normal human feeling. It's just, you can't.
It's totally. And same thing goes. It's like, you can be angry and your behavior is still you're accountable for.
Yeah.
Like, if you're angry and then you go egg their car, that's one thing, like, you're still in trouble for that. But your anger is not the problem. I'm so glad we had that whole conversation about anger, because I've been thinking about it so much recently, and in a way that has gotten pushback. Like, I've talked to people and I'm just like, women need to be angrier. And they're like, oh, it's not, like, why do you have to say it like that? And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I guess it's a top line slogan type thing, like support women's rage. But really, to me, it's just that we try to push everything down and we feel guilty whenever we feel a human emotion like that. And if we didn't, where would we be? Like, how much more would we defend ourselves, stand up for ourselves, separate ourselves from denial or feelings of guilt if we didn't feel like we weren't allowed to be angry?
Well, I feel like a lot of that is because if a strong emotion comes from a woman, we're being dramatic because
We're
that's
hysterical.
what women do. We're hysterical. And so those feelings are, I feel like a lot of times people say, oh, well, if the same feelings came from a man, it wouldn't seem as dramatic. A lot of times is what people are thinking. And I just don't, that's the narrative that I think you're trying to break, right? Like, it's just because it's coming from a woman doesn't mean that we're dramatic. It's just facts.
No. And the problem is, if you don't let it out, it goes somewhere. It either goes to your back pain. It goes to
it manifests in your body. Like, let
the
it
way
out.
you treat someone else or how you treat yourself. Like, it comes out. And
yeah, so if I go off on y'all, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. At least you know how I feel. No, again, we are responsible for our actions, but turning anger into something good, like a memoir or Lily Allen's album, like, there are ways to be healthy and be angry. And I don't know. Oh, okay. So her being a therapist is interesting for this as well, because I think a lot of our guests don't take the route of being angry at the other woman, at being this angry themselves. Like, and I love that. I love hearing the people that are able to forgive and move on and be at peace. And I'm like, wow, you are with
better
your
than
higher
me.
self. Yeah, literally. But I think it's interesting that a therapist is the one that seemed the most that we've had, like, comfortable with expressing that very human reaction.
Yes.
That
and it is very human.
Is human. Exactly. It was misplaced, maybe. It might be wrong, but it doesn't make you a bad person to have that reaction.
But also imagine going back to the anger after his death and like, oh, how can you feel angry? Like, imagine the total mind F of going through this whole thing. Let's talk about the denial where like he was so good. And then how do you get your brain to realize that like, you're like, no way he's fallen this far down. Like, this
He's not
guy
the
was
same
so
person
good.
anymore.
You can't even believe that this is the same person. And so now you're confused about what's happening. You don't want to believe that this person is this person that you didn't know. You're like, where did this come from? And so then it's just a bunch of emotions that are all just human emotions.
I think you're right. And that also, like, she had to mourn the person he was for 8 years when he just changed himself so much. And I think that probably contributes to the way her, like, mourning his death now is like, she already did a lot of mourning. Any divorce is a lot of mourning.
Yeah, it's a lot for anyone. And especially like, let's talk about being a mama. So you have mom guilt and then you have husband guilt or spouse guilt whenever it's, now there's a competition between the attention you're giving to the child and the spouse. And so that exists. And it's just innately within us as women to have a little bit of that guilt, maybe like,
a little.
It's a lot.
I mean, also he was like, you're not fun anymore.
Yeah, like, sorry, fella. What fuck?
It all fell on her so much. And yeah, denial was real.
That's a lot to take.
So much to take. And you're just trying to keep everything afloat. And it's not like you have time to sit down and necessarily give yourself as much therapy as you probably need.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes time. She is awesome. I also have a few questions that y'all got to help us decipher. Like, what the heck was going on with all those IDs?
Oh, that just adds to the confusion. And a confused mind says no. Like a confused mind is like, no, like, of course she was angry. If you're confused like that, being confused makes me mad. Like I can't handle being confused. That's what frustrates me the most. And so imagine that confusion. And
yeah, no kidding.
All leading to these emotions of anger and, it's too much.
But I want to hear what people like. Has anybody ever experienced something like that before where somebody was stealing a bunch of IDs? Like, is it just like identity theft? I mean, literally it is, but like, what are all the possibilities of that reasoning? Or could it just be like kind of random?
It's weird. Like,
it's so weird.
What else didn't she catch? Like, what did not she find out about?
Did not she find out? One thing she did, I think that was great. She did a lot of she was isolated for a while, but her mom, she brought in whenever there were those moments of him being violent. Like, I feel like just call your people, have people and call your people. And if you need people, join the Patreon. I'm like half kidding because I just love that you can make friends through dating detectives who have the same values as you on this.
Yeah.
So,
and I also shout out to our listeners and our Patreoners. You guys have always been so kind to one another and supportive of our guests and all the kind messages that you share. It's been, I imagine, just that community, just knowing that you're a little less alone, just hearing other people going through what you might have experienced. And it's just nice to know other people went through it too. Not because you want it to happen to them, obviously, just because it's nice to know you're not alone.
You're not alone. And you can bring that experience into other relationships in a way that makes them even better. And I think she does that. Like she now as a therapist, and she can specialize in addiction, and she can help people through things she probably never wanted to be able to help them through on a first person basis.
And it's going to make her a much better therapist. Like I bet it has made her a much better therapist overall. And
she's so cool.
I love her.
She also dressed really well.
Oh man, she's so cool.
I just feel like you need to know that, everyone. I was going to read a little bit from the back of her book, just so you guys know where you can find her. Meredith Beardmore, also known as Mend with Mare, on her successful YouTube channel, is a renowned psychotherapist based outside New York City, an Ohio State University graduate. She specializes in substance abuse and supports the family members of the afflicted. And then there's a bunch of other stuff about her extreme success. She's written other books, and you should follow her on YouTube to dissect song lyrics with her, or you should buy her book, Plan B Chronicles, Divorce, Defiance, Liberation. And we're going to do the book for book club. This month, our book is Pretty Things by Janelle Brown. You have plenty of time to read it. We haven't set a date yet. And then afterwards, we'll do Plan B Chronicles by Meredith Beardmore. Well, enjoy, everybody, and let us know what you think of the episode. And we love you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing us on your socials and on your socials.
Socials.
And always, you can email us your story anytime, investigate@thedatingdetectivespodcast.com. We would love to be an ear or a platform for you. So don't be afraid to reach out to us. And as always,
trust your intuition.